This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask with your host, Dr. Judith Briles, on the Rockstar Radio Network. On the show today, you'll find out where book publishing is going and how to take advantage of it. How to identify and avoid publishing predators. What opportunities are emerging as the book trade evolves in new forms. How to avoid losing money, and much, much more. Join us now as a variety of publishing pros will deliver insights and strategies to take the author to the next level of publishing. It's your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. Brought to you by Author You and the Book Shepherd on the Rockstar Radio Network. And now, here's your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
Well, it's a fabulous fall day. Of course, you never know where people are going to download this, which will become a podcast at a later tone. But our original recording is on a fabulous fall day. And one of the things that happens, especially fall brings a variety of things, but it's number one, people are back to work. And authors and writers are starting thinking, okay, so what am I going to do? How am I going to move my book forward? How am I going to birth my book? How am I going to launch it? You'll see a lot of business books come online in the fall, and also in January. You'll see a huge amount of craft-related books, cooking-related books come on. You'll see things that where authors are getting ready to move forward aggressively into the holiday season. Well, one of the things that comes along is looking at not only your brand, but what's your influence? What kind of influence do you have? What kind of recognition will people go to and be gyrated toward to say, this is the go-to person. This is the expert I want to reach to. So I thought it would be a great idea to talk about this thing called Klout. What's your clout? And what is this thing called, the clout, that's out there, Klout? And with me for the first half hour is going to be Susan Gilbert. She's an online marketing expert. You can read all about her at susangilbert.com. She's done a variety of things, and we just happen to have a mutual client, actually, and friend, Mary Wyckoff, who has just birthed her first book in a series of books called The Shadow of the Sun. So, and if you like historical, ancient fiction, women's fiction, a little paranormal, a little romance, betrayal, Mary's book would be a perfect cup of tea and belong in someone's stocking over the holidays. But Susan's with us, and we're going to get into this thing called Klout. We're going to look, what is it? Does it matter? How do I get a score? How do I get involved in it? How do I increase my Klout score? Who pays attention to it? And everything else in between. So, Susan, welcome to your guide to book publishing.
Hello, Judith, and all your wonderful listeners. And I could hear you with the introduction, and thank you. Thank you very much. I'm passionate about work online. I'm also an author. I self-published a little gift book over 12 years ago now, and did really well with it online. And so that's kind of led me to where I am now with helping other authors. And so this is very exciting to me to be on your show and let people know what Klout's all about.
Well, okay, now I have to ask you, Susan, you sold your book 12 years ago online?
I did. I was one. I think I was the first person to take my book to number one on Amazon as a self-published author. And I did it through joint ventures of big lists with Mark Victor Hansen and Robert Allen. And then I started selling my book online and had a beautiful website when very few people had websites. So I've been doing this work for a long time. I also like to claim that I was one of the first people using Twitter and Facebook before people knew what it was. So I consider myself an innovator and kind of first to market with a lot of things. And so I think probably a lot of your listeners have never heard of Klout before. I see this happen all the time. Or if they have heard of it, they have possibly gotten into the controversy, which is really how I felt about it initially. Like Big Brother is watching, and I don't trust the scoring, and I don't want to participate. Do you think some people who are listening might feel that way?
Well, they may know. I mean, I think one is they may not quite know what it is, and two is, does it really matter? And then three, if it does matter, what do I do to make myself visible and take advantage of it? And I guess there's always that magic question: is it manipulatable? Because people do wonder about a lot of this stuff.
Well,
And
I definitely think Klout is manipulative. However I say it. I think you can make it increase, and I've been testing this for months and months now, but it really isn't. You can't jury the system, so to speak. In other words, I think it's pretty spot on. There was a lot of concern initially as to how well it was reporting, and what I like to always bring up is that because our social media programs are associated with an email address, if you are using multiple email addresses, that can diffuse the system. So it isn't Klout, it's that they can only pull in what is accessible. So why don't I do just like a little overview, because some people think Klout is another social media program, and it's not. You know, we all have so much that we're doing, and we get busy, and it's hard to really participate in just the main social media options of Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn without adding another one. But really, Klout is the measurability of those things. And, you know, there is this saying that says we can't improve what we can't measure, or we can't manage what you can't measure. And what Klout is doing is measuring the reachability of your Twitter, your Facebook, your Google+, the different properties that you are participating in and have connected to Klout. So what I really like about it is I can see where I'm doing really well, and I can see where I need to work. Now, there's some common sense. I know that I spend more time on Twitter and Facebook than I do on Google+ and LinkedIn, but I can actually see the metrics because I've connected those within Klout. Mm-hmm. And then that connectability is what gives you your Klout score.
You know, you said something, though, that was very telling, and I bet you a lot of our listeners are affected by that, and I know I certainly am, because when you're on social medias, multiple platforms, and you have multiple names within one platform, like Facebook or Twitter, that you have to use a different email for each one of those to pull those accounts down.
Exactly. In other words, my Klout score is based on me, Susan Gilbert, and I've made sure that all the social media that I have connected to that Klout has to do with me and not any of my businesses like Online Promotion Success or my small dog endeavors or any of the other markets that I'm involved in.
Well, but the reality is few people really would have known that in the first place. And I know for me, it's been, to me, it's a headbanger. I don't get why you have to have that and why you can't use the same email address for multiple channels. In that it makes no logical sense to me, but I can just tell you, I'm listening to you right here, and I have a decent Klout score, but I'm just thinking, okay, I'm never going to go any higher because I know that I have this Twitter, I have three different Twitter accounts, they have 3 different emails, I've got like 8 different Facebook accounts, they all have different multiples. There's no way it's going to all come together.
Well, let me bring up something about Facebook. Certainly, you would want to pick the Twitter account where you are most active. And with Klout, it's not how many followers you have on Twitter. It's not how many friends or fans you have on Facebook. It's the activity of, if we use Twitter as the example, is how much are you retweeting? How much are you reaching out with @mentions? It's the conversation and the reach that Klout is measuring. Mm-hmm. So with Twitter, you would pick whatever Twitter account you have the most activity and associate that with your Klout account. With Facebook, it used to be when this first started, and it goes back, I got active in it about 1.5 years ago, and you could only associate your Facebook profile. So if you were not very active on your profile, but you were very active on a page, you could only connect Klout to your profile. Now you do have the ability to connect the Facebook page that you are most active in. But you do, and this will bring a little bit of humor and a little bit of, for people who don't know me, I'm into miniatures. I have 4 little dogs and 2 little horses. And my office is in the barn on my property, and so if you hear some little yips in the background, it's just my crew here. It's my little 4-legged crew. And so I have a hyperactive Facebook page, which is mysmalldog.com. And it's the, Facebook/mysmalldog. But if I associated that hyperactive page with my Susan Gilbert, it's going to start showing me as an expert in small dogs, not as an expert in branding or social media. So you can choose a page now on Facebook, but if you have a lot of pages, keep the 2 things in mind is, do you have a lot of activity? Do you have a lot of shares and comments and likes going on that page? And is that page relevant to the branding that you want to put out into the world?
So what you're doing, though, is I'm hearing you say is that you can go in and tell Klout to, whether it's Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, whatever, to connect on a specific page, of which each one of them could have a different email address attached to that?
Well, it has to do with it's a coming together of 2 things from opposite directions, and I'll give an example in just a second that will demonstrate that. When you open up a Klout account, you have the ability to connect whatever social media you want. So you would connect that Twitter account that you like. You could connect whether you wanted your profile or a particular page. You could connect Google+. Like if I wanted to connect my company Google+ account, I could do that. So one part of it is connecting the things that you want to factor into your Klout score and to measure your metrics. Now, where the email address comes into play is a lot of people want to know about the perks that are available with Klout, because the higher your Klout score is, of course, what Klout is doing is measuring your reachability out into the world.
Okay, Susan, with that said, we're going to go into a break here just in a couple of seconds. And I'm starting getting cues from my producer. We're 10 seconds away from that. So I think when we come back, what I want to do is explain what the perks are, because I think most people are clueless about Klout and what the perk is and what it can do for them. So we'll be right back. My expert is Susan Gilbert. She knows everything and anything about online. I'm Judith Briles, and you're listening to Your Guide to Book Publishing. We'll be back after a few words from our fabulous supporters.
This is Your Guide to Book Publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these on the Rockstar Radio Network.
Is there a book in you or another? Author You will show you how to create, develop, and publish your book without being hoodwinked. If you already have a book out, you'll find a supportive and brainstorming community that's connected and creative no matter where you live. Author U brings in national experts for its book camps and annual author extravaganza held each May. It has regular meetings and delivers webinars for its members on timely topics. Through Author U's extensive network, members enjoy exclusive benefits, including significant discounts for a variety of services necessary to publishing. The Resource, its online book publishing news magazine, is content-heavy and it's free. If you want to create a book that has pizzazz, punch, and panache, Author U is for you. If you're a hobbyist or a casual author, it's not. Join Author U today through its website at authoru.org. Follow Author U on Twitter at Author U and on Facebook at Author U, where timely author and publishing tips and articles are posted daily. Author U, where the author goes to become seriously successful.
Do you sell stuff? Do you want to sell books? Lots of them? If yes, you must take credit cards, the most widely used form of payment today. The Free Terminal has created a special program for Your Guide to Book Publishing listeners. No contract. All equipment is free. Extremely low rates and no termination fees ever. Contact Alan Dean at alan@thefreeterminal.com or call him at 303-668-6828. The free terminal has handled all credit card transactions for both Author You and Judith for over a year. Don't wait another day. Contact Alan at thefreeterminal.com or call 303-668-6828 and tell him you want the no-contract Author You deal.
Every picture tells a story. And it's a truism that people do judge a book by its cover. Nick Sellinger and NZ Graphics have been in the business of producing superior graphic cover design and interior layout for self-published authors, independent and traditional publishers for years. He has developed a reputation for excellent work, fast turnarounds, and best of all, affordable pricing. NZ Graphics also produces ebooks and book marketing materials such as posters, sell sheets, postcards, bookmarks, business cards, logos, and more. Books designed for his clients have won multiple book awards, including Best Book Award by U.S. Book News, multiple Evie Awards from the Colorado Independent Publishers Association, Indie Book Awards, the San Francisco Book Festival Award, and Freedom Medal Award from Valley Forge. Visit www.nzgraphics.com or call 303-985-4174 for more details about making your book the success it should be. Mention that you are an FOJ, friend of Judith's, and that you heard about NZ Graphics on your guide to book publishing.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask on the Rockstar Radio Network. If you want to write and publish a book, if you want to be successful as an author, your guide to book publishing, everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, is for you. Stay tuned and you'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
All right, so we are kind of deep diving very quickly in the next 15 minutes into Klout, a little bit more into Klout and what it is. And as we went to the break, we just opened up the magic word perks. So, Susan, what are the perks, and do we need them?
Well, the one perk I've already talked about in terms of it helps you manage your social media. It gives you some metrics, like looking at your Google Analytics. But the perks that people really think about with Klout is that, the example I like to give is when you check in at a hotel, you are often asked for your email address, right?
Yes.
And when they put in that email address, they are tied into a system that spits out your Klout score. And when they see that you are somebody of high influence, you can get upgraded, you can get comps, because, again, what Klout is doing is measuring your influence. How many people pay attention to what you're saying?
Okay, that got my attention.
Yeah. Now, that doesn't mean that you are going to blog about it or tweet about it or post something on Facebook about it. Of course, all the vendors, and I'll open up my perks in just a second and just read off some that I can see from my dashboard. But the brands, the big brands, hotels, restaurants, people are getting behind wanting people who have Klout to go out and give them the best experience, because then they'll talk about it in positive ways.
Oh, so, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, we all have credit scores, whether we like it or not, and we all have Klout scores, whether we like it or not. So because a lot of this stuff is happening via your email address, if I gave the hotel an email address thinking, I'm just going to give this throwaway email address to them because I don't want to receive anything from them, they're not going to pull up my Klout score. So that's where the email address starts to get tied into this. And it's just being aware that that's how it's also tied into your mobile phone. Have you ever been at a conference where a speaker asked you from an SMS text message to text a certain phone number and receive a coupon or receive a download, that's being done through your cell phone. And they, in most cases, have metrics that is saying who in the room has the most clout. And I have been at conferences where they've given awards to somebody who has the most clout. So those are reasons to care. Now, let me take a look here in my dashboard, because the perks do change, and they change based on availability and your scoring. And right now, I could save $15 on Score Big, which is a box office for selling tickets for NFL, NBA, music, theater, and more. I could get a free copy of a magazine called The Red Bulletin. I could get $20 off at a company called Top Floor, which has got a picture of a gal wearing sunglasses. I'm not sure what all Top Floor sells, but I could get $20 off on that. And down on the left-hand side of Klout, and those are just the featured perks, there's sections for entertainment, experiences, food and beverage, retail, sports. So, you know, if you're more into one thing or the other, like for food and beverage, I can check to see what are my perks right now. I can see a perk here, $5 at McDonald's, a coupon around Red Bull, party with Bud Light Lime. Oh, here's double shot at Starbucks. You know, so if you're into the coupon stuff, Klout, as your score comes up, you'll get perks. And understanding why are you getting the perks, because they consider you have reachability. So if people really want to participate in Klout, often I'm asked, well, how do you raise your Klout score? And it's about posting content that people want to share, because, again, that's part of the measurability is how many people want your content. Participating on Twitter with things like @mentions and retweets. Making sure that in Klout you have all the social media properties that you are participating in connected, so that you can, again, I think a great benefit of Klout is just to be able to look at it like analytics and see where you're doing well. But also, that's the way that Klout is scoring you. And jump on popular hashtags. Don't be afraid to communicate with those people that you see are the high influencers in Klout, and build conversations and relationships, and that's always a good networking thing to do. But Klout just gives you that extra reason for doing it.
I have a question, though. I mean, I come back to these people like myself who have multiple emails that we use. I just actually went in while you were talking and looked at my Twitter account to find out, okay, which email do I have tied in with each account? And the reality is I don't know, because it doesn't show in the profile. So,
no, you have to go over to your settings. It will show you under settings in Twitter.
All right. Well, that's what I was trying to figure out, because you'd want to do, if you want to direct them to find out, okay, you know, which actually I'm in settings and it doesn't show. So that's interesting.
Well, yeah, and what you would do is, because you have multiple Twitter accounts, pick the account, the Twitter account that you have the most activity in, not just followers, but activity, and make sure that you're logged into that account when you go to Klout.com. And there's a button that you click on that if you're already logged into Twitter, it'll just automatically connect you through.
Got it. Okay. Well, so you leave your Twitter account open with the one you want, then go to Klout. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. And then that connects the two.
Good trick. That's a great trick. Okay, so we've got perks that you don't even know about. So I bet you a lot of people never knew. Many of our listeners, I would say 95%, never knew to go to the Klout.com to figure out what's on the dashboard. They might have some goodies out there.
Absolutely. And they will email them. You know, Klout will periodically email what the perks are, but they don't email everything. So I check in from time to time to see if there's anything of interest. But as a social media person myself, somebody who's been involved with it for a long time and who loves to help authors and small business people with their social media accounts, I truly believe we don't really know sometimes how effective our social media is for us. And when you're using Klout, it gives you some great information from your dashboard. So if you really want to manage your social media more effectively, that to me is a perk in and of itself.
So, number one, what I'm hearing you say is we do need to pay attention to Klout. It's out here and it's tying everyone together. The influence has perks and goodies. Maybe you don't care about going to McDonald's or Starbucks, but they're out there. It's an option. But meanwhile, it does give you other things out there. I shouldn't say out there, but it does give you that credibility that could make a decision even with someone consulting with you, if that's what you sell.
Absolutely. And I don't know if this is a good time to mention it, since I won't be here for the second half hour, but
sure.
There are 3 posts at my website, SusanGilbert.com, on Klout, like what it is, how to get started. There'll be a 4th one posting either tomorrow or Saturday, and then I think I had only planned on 4, but I think there will be a 5th one. And it takes you through some of the things that we're going over on the call. And the one that's next to post is the top 10 tips for improving your Klout score, which would be important for anyone to take a look at. It'll go more in depth than what we have so far on the call.
Well, that would make total sense. So everyone, I would encourage you to go to SusanGilbert.com. Start with the first one. Just go chronologically. What's the overview of it? How do you get started will be your next one. The 3rd one is about the really understanding what it's about. And then the 4th one that's going to be the tips. Is that the tips coming up?
The 4th one will be top 10 tips.
Okay.
And then I don't have a name for it yet, but I have some questions that have come up for people, and I'm going to be answering some of those questions in the 5th one. And overall, what tip number 10 is build your name through multiple media. And I know it's the things that you are already telling authors, is just make sure of expanding your reach, and do it through radio, do it through your own podcast, do it through videos, do it by speaking in public. This is just it's just a measurability of what your reach is, and we always want to be able to reach out in multiple medias and spread the word.
Okay, that's what the internet is all about, and that's what this whole social media with marketing for authors and writers is about today. And I know you do have to leave us. Congratulations for being one of the virgins on the internet started.
Thank you, Judith.
All right, take care. Thanks. This is Briles. We'll be right back with some marketing tips to strategize for holiday selling for your books.
This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these on the Rockstar Radio Network.
Since 1987, Color House Graphics has set the standard for quality book production. Whether you decide to print a small quantity of books or need a large print run, depend on Color House to help you. You'll receive professional help and advice the moment you reach one of our representatives. If you mention hearing about us on your guide to book publishing with Judith Briles, we will provide you with a discount on the first order you place. To speak with a project manager, call us toll-free at 800-454-1916 or visit us at www.colorhousegraphics.com.
Do you need postcards that make a statement? How about business cards, flyers, brochures, or NCR forms? Tuvets is the solution for all your printing needs. Providing services specially designed for authors, we deliver exceptional quality colored printing. Most important of all, we specialize in reducing your printing costs. No more waiting. No more standing in lines at your local printer. Online proofing. With our pricing tools calculator, you can get instant quotes on all your printing products, as well as shipping rates all over the United States. Just a few clicks of the mouse and you're on the way to discovering how easy and convenient online color printing should be. Contact our friendly, human account representatives. We recognize that you want answers, not voice prompts. Visit our website at www.tu-vets.com or call 1-800-894-8977.
When Ned Thompson and Harry Shore started Thompson Shore in 1972, they believed employees with great character would make up the best company. They were right. They hired people who were not only experts in bookmaking, but who were obsessed with quality and delivering exceptional customer service. Almost 40 years later, Thompson Shore remains a 100% employee-owned company. Ned and Harry knew that successful customer projects are a direct result of empowered employees. We specialize in all books for large and small publishers, creating beautiful and well-made books. We're dedicated to pleasing our customers by making the experience a good one from start to finish. The personal touch we have with our customers allows us to be innovative in solving their most difficult challenges. Our platform also ensures that we can remain flexible to meet our customers' unique needs and expectations. Our marketing kit can create buzz for your title, enhancing the promotion of your book during infancy. When you need to test the market to gauge your future sales, we can provide digitally printed books that will transition seamlessly into a larger offset run. From ebook to hard copy to delivery, our skillful customer service teams are at the ready to answer your most pressing question. At Thompson Shore, we know that making the highest quality books requires more than just best technologies. It requires superior customer service, professionalism to the trade, and commitment to environmental and social values. With these standards of excellence in place, you can be sure that we will always help you put your best book forward.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask on the Rockstar Radio Network. Coming up, you'll hear more about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
Okay, so let's say you got the influence and you put it all together, and I hope that you all have listened in to the podcast we did on Twitter, and it was just last week, but there was a lot of strategies, tips, techniques, mistakes to avoid, because when it comes to marketing for books and for authors and for writers getting their presence out there, really social media is your very best friend. It's just the best. It's the BBF, the best book friend that you can have in that. And so what are some of the things that you can do? And you want to start thinking about the marketing plan. We do have the holiday seasons coming up, but the reality is, we have holidays every year, every day of the year. You have multiple holidays. You have, and in fact, one of the strategies you should do for marketing is declare your own holiday. Now, right now, Chase, if you go on and just Google Chase and you want holidays after it, and you could go in and put in to declare your day. It could be around your book, a theme, an event. It could be a week, a month, or whatever. But get out there and put together a little pitch for it. And if it gets included in there, then you can start doing an annual event to actually do your own launch, a relaunch every frickin' year to support these things, which is fabulous. And anytime you have a new idea, you come along. Now, this will not be for 213 because 213 is filled with all the normal holidays, like we're in October as we are live right now, so that pretty much anyone who is a woman will know that is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, of which many other months. But one of the fun things I like to do is I send out in tweets every once in a while, and I do a blog twice a week, and that I actually do 4 blogs because I have 2 different sites I'm spreading them on. Is that I will often include what the weird day is. For example, today is deals with don't grow a beard day. So women who don't want beards on their face, this is a good day for us not to grow a beard. But there's a variety of weird holidays that you can come across. And if you just look up weird holidays, that's one way to come in place. But what I'm saying is declare your own holiday. Make that part of your book marketing strategy. So what should you be doing in this area? So number 1, do you have a website for your book? The name of your book. If the name of your book is already somebody else's website, and I just want you to get a .com, forget about everything else, that just put the name of your book and put book then. So if it's Susan Meets Jack, and SusanMeetJacks.com is already taken, it's SusanMeetsJackBook.com. So So that's what I would be looking at there. And you may have multiple websites. You may have you want them to go into your own website. And frankly, I think for authors, it behooves you to have people always default into your name as the website. And again, if you are Susan Smith, for example, and that's a pretty common name, it might be authorsusansmith.com. But get the name of your book. If it has any chance of being misspelled, get the oddball name too, and then have it lead or be directed to your main website. But make sure that you've got some information on it. A great technique I saw recently, and I thought this is kind of the cat's meow, was that to get a copy of a chapter or two, which I think is a good idea to give that away. To get a copy of a chapter or two of the book is that they had to literally sign in. They had to, give the email, because it's after capturing names. This is your fan club building here. So all you had to do is you requested to get a copy of your free downloads, sign in here, and then bang, they had it right away. Instead of what most of us have always done is there's the magic portal, and you just go to the website, click, okay, you open up, and then you close it. At least you can capture their emails. So I thought that was a cool idea. Make sure you have sample pages. Always have the ability for people to leave a comment. And if newsletters were the thing to do, most people don't do newsletters. The exception is for our sponsor, Author You. They have a very extensive e-zine that is done 10 times a year. And I know, for example, November, December is a collapsed issue, but it runs 30 to 40 pages of high content around marketing and strategic planning around your books, and tips and techniques from people all over the country who are experts that add to it on a monthly basis. So you can tap in and sign up for that. It's a freebie. So consider that for yourself. Now, I'm not telling you to do a 30 to 40 page, because let me tell you, it's a brain drain, but you could do a page or two. And a lot of people are converting, that would be for more of a company, you maybe about your brand here, but for a book, you could just, you've written the book. So let's start doing this copy pasting. Make it maybe a little comment, a little tease. Go back to that weird holidays, and maybe something around the holiday, or maybe there's an event going on in the news. Keep it topical. And just as Susan Gilbert was saying, the first half hour, when you tie it in with things that are topical influence, Google's going to pick you up in all different ways, and it does add to your influence factor. All right, think about doing a media room if you're going to do a lot of media. Think about becoming a sponsor. Maybe you have an event and you create that, I love to fill in the blank day, and it's around whatever your book or your theme is. So those are a couple of ideas. Now, how do you continue to promote your book and those kind of areas? Well, one of the things that you can do, and I remember doing this at one time, and I was thinking, why haven't I done this again? And I have a brand new book. I just got the first copies of my new book called Author You, Y-O-U, Creating and Building Your Author and Book Platforms. And I should tell you all, you can do a pre-order up on Amazon now on it. But that I used to have, you can get a magnetic sign, any sign place can make it, and you can slap it on your car door. I mean, why not? If you're out in your vehicle, why don't you have your book cover floating around with you? And keep it, it's that visual. Keep it in the mind on there. Make sure that you go to your libraries. Wherever you are, there are still libraries. Offer to do a free talk. Most of them will welcome you to come in, and you can sell your books. And they usually, if they like what they hear, guess what? They buy them too. And make sure, by the way, that you've got your book on ebook form. Make sure it's in an EPUB format, because libraries are more and more carrying those extensively, and they actually buy them, pay royalties on it. It's a good deal. So make sure that you do that. Whenever, if you're doing any kind of media, please make sure that you mention your book. Repeat the title a couple times. Now, here's a little hint that I have learned over the years, because I've done over 1,000 radio and TV shows myself, where I have been interviewed, everything from Oprah to, multiple times on CNN, to the Good Morning America, to my local station, and then from print from the Wall Street Journal to, oh my God, the National Enquirer. I've done it all. And I can tell you start learning a few techniques. So I've always said when I've interviewed that I would encourage you to go to your favorite bookstore and get my book. Now, you and I know, and the wall in front of me, that your book is most likely not in that store. But that's okay. See, you're reaching out. Now, here's what you do next. You say, go to your favorite bookstore to get the book. If they are already sold out, they can order it. Or you can go to Amazon, or you can contact me through my website and get a personalized copy, and it'll be out to you within 24 hours. So, and then give them your website. And see, that's why I want you to use your name so they can remember it. They've been hearing it. It's over and over again. And then you've got some good spot on your homepage showing the book cover. Click here. Make it work. So think about doing that kind of thing. Don't be afraid to ask other authors to mention your book when they're out there. I mean, sometimes they really do coexist. And the other thing is that because the holidays are coming up, this might be a good time to make a cooperative basket, a holiday basket of different books, and you all go out, you put it together, get a order sheet, get it together, and send it all out to your collective communities of emails and drive them to it. Now, you can say, go to buy it online at Amazon or Barnes & Noble, if that's your choice. Or if you live in a certain region, you're all kind of together, you could contact your local bookstore. Like I'm based in Denver, Colorado, and one of my favorite bookstores is the Tattered Cover, so that we would make sure that all our books are there, and we could drive them to the Tattered Cover, and we'd let them know it to buy the books. Or you could have a party. Why not do a tea or do an event, and you bring people together, and this is where you can do holiday shopping, and there'll be special things going on and yummy foods and discounts. And the other thing I always do, I don't wrap a book. I don't put paper on a book. My gosh, you've spent all this money on this fabulous cover. Find a great looking ribbon, sheer, and have pre-cut ribbons, and then they have a beautiful package. We're going to have some more ideas when we come back. I'm Judith Briles. It's your guide to book publishing.
This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these on the Rockstar Radio Network.
Do you sell stuff? Do you want to sell books? Lots of them? If yes, you must take credit cards, the most widely used form of payment today. The Free Terminal has created a special program for your guide to book publishing listeners. No contract, all equipment is free, extremely low rates, and no termination fees ever. Contact Alan Dean at alan@thefreeterminal.com or call him at 303-668-6828. The Free Terminal has handled all credit card transactions for both author you and Judith for over a year. Don't wait another day. Contact Alan at thefreeterminal.com or call 303-668-6828 and tell him you want the no contract author you deal.
The book shepherding concept is simple. The publishing world is changing, and so must you. You need an experienced shepherd and a guide to partner with you as you create, strategize, develop, publish, and achieve your publishing goals. You can't do it alone without paying the price. You can spend your money creating a book that turns out to be so-so, or you can create a book that looks and feels classy, builds your brand, and is a financial success, a bestseller. It's your choice. You choose. You need the book shepherd. Publishing is riddled with obstacles, sometimes nightmares for the author. You don't need problems, you want solutions. Dr. Judith Briles will shepherd you through the maze and the chaos. At times, she's had to step in and rescue a book that has been sabotaged by a publisher or by a publishing service provider or sometimes even the author themselves. Judith Briles is the book shepherd if you want to create a book with no regrets. Give her a call today, 303-885-2207. That's 303-885-2207, or email her at judith@briles.com. By the way, Briles is spelled B-R-I-L-E-S. Follow Judith on Twitter at My Book Shepherd and on Facebook at The Book Shepherd.
At Total Printing Systems, customer service is our priority. We are located in Southern Illinois. Our employees have an average of 18 years experience and know that customer relationships are important to our continued success. We have been a short-run book printer for nearly 40 years and always stay at the forefront of technology. Our niche is from 1 to 5,000 copies. Today, we offer digital, black and white, and 4-color high-speed inkjet printing, a cost-effective way to introduce color into your short-run titles. We, of course, offer traditional offset printing as well. Bindery is done in-house, from adhesive case binding to PUR perfect binding to mechanical binding of all types, including side sewing. We provide warehousing, kitting, distribution, inventory management, a new print-on-demand facility, streaming browser-based ebooks, and bookstore. Call us at 1-800-465-5200 for a quote on your next book project. You can also visit our website at www.tps1.com.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask on the Rockstar Radio Network. If you want to write and publish a book, if you want to be successful as an author, your guide to book publishing, everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, is for you. Stay tuned and you'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
All right, so we're talking about some quick marketing tips to move things forward. And one of the things I've mentioned before, and I know when Henry Iaya from Two Vets is on the show as one of our sponsors, and you hear his ad earlier in the program, is that he makes a terrific ring, and I don't know what else to call them, but because I can literally put it on my bracelet, my hand arm like a bracelet. But he makes a ring of QR codes, and they can have 500 or 1,000 on them. They're, little 1-inch squares that you want to start making sure you carry that everywhere with you. And if you don't have a QR code on your book, that you want to put them on there. And I would encourage you, just don't do the QR code. Henry will set it up that whatever the QR code is supposed to take them to, whether it's your name, your website, whatever, that you put that so the person knows what in the heck it is, because all you do is see, these black things, and you could create a graphic QR code, with your logo within it, which is kind of cool. But you want to look at that and have that and carry those around, and you put that on all your literature everywhere you go when you give out. So this is a good time of the year to think about holding a contest. Give away free stuff, including your book, or maybe a free webinar by you, or a teleseminar by you. And this is a time that you might want to call if you have a book theme, or that something is going on that either would be a relief from all the political ads that have been going on through the summer and the early fall, or tie into something very topical, regional in your area, that if your book can support it or ease the pain, or have some relief, or give a solution, whatever it is, that you want to offer a few copies. And then, of course, you would like to be on, which is always a very good idea. That you might want to check out, look around for book clubs to market you. And it is a good way. You want to go to bookclub.com and see if they're, what's going on and who's listed out there, and see if you can get into the lineup for people to consider if your book is something that is appropriate for a book club. And usually book clubs, they have all different areas. Some do only fiction. Some want to do the old classics. Some do very current business books. I mean, there's something for everybody out there. So you just want to look at where that marketing outlet could be with that. I want to encourage you, if you don't have a business card, made one with your book on it, you want to do that. That's always a smart thing to do. I will also say that as we go into fall, this is a heavy launch time for new books from New York to come out. It is very difficult to compete for an author signing with that. And the only way you're going to get the attention if they have a slot is if you can drive people there to hear you. And that's all your pals and your friends. The average book signing only sells 6 books. That's not very many. So the best thing you can do is drive them forward. And as I told another friend who we felt that she was probably going to have a very light signing just because of the weather and some of the things that were going on, and I told her, take food for the staff and do a little mini workshop for them, and so they can be embraced and they will remember you and tell customers as they come on, if they're asking for, hey, do you know any good books that might make a gift? It could just be your name that gets attached to that. So think about doing those kind of things. And don't forget for media that just in the last 24 hours from this original creation of this show on October 18th, just within the last 24 hours, Newsweek magazine, which has been around for decades, announced that their print version is going out and they'll be totally e-format from now on. And of course, everyone knew it was coming because the magazine had, dropped in size. And I think it, you wonder, is there 12 pages in here? But they're getting less and less. So is there any chance for print media? Well, you know what? There's a huge opportunity in print media, and it's called your little local freebies. And communities still pop out, and because they sell all this advertising that goes to that's you'll see them picked up. If you go down to a local coffee shop, you're going to see free stuff there. Who is creating that? Pick one up of everything that's free, and then contact whoever says the publisher and just say, I've got a book that I think your readership would love. And make sure you read their publication to make sure it's a fit, and send them a copy, because you never know who might be the fit, and it could just drive a lot of sales for you. And then you have to in your signature tagline, where are you going to send them to buy the book? Is it a bookstore? Is it going to be Amazon, for example, online, or are you going to send them to your website? Help them out. People usually remember Amazon, or if you have a very prominent bookstore in town, they'll remember that one, but you need to help them out. Marketing tip: when you are out there, always, no exceptions, have at least one case of books in your car, because you never know how much you can sell out of your trunk. Someone says, oh, I wish I had your book. Well, you know what? I have one. I've got one in the car. Would you like one? I can personalize it. Is there any other gifts you want? Let them know you're in sales now. So take advantage of that as you go forward. And you want to make sure that you have as I said, you tapped into your local media, letting them know you're around. You want to go to your bookstores, and your libraries. You want to do a free talk, which is going to be free. You're not going to get paid for that. But here's the thing that's critical. No matter what you do, because you're in sales, you must, no exceptions, take credit cards. And whether one of our sponsors, which is the Free Terminal and Total Merchant, they have what they call their payment jack, which is less than anybody that I've seen around. And that you've got Square that a lot of people are familiar with. Intuit is offering it. PayPal is offering it. You're all going to pay higher rates with those, especially PayPal. But there's the convenience of all you have to do is put into your smartphone or your tablet, and you're off and running, and you can take credit cards. You just are not going to be printing paper receipts. So if the people that you are going to be selling to are someone who, they really want that piece of paper, you need to have one of the gadgets that you can print something out on, which you can get in that arena. So you also want to have people start posting things and going up on your website and saying, you know, what a difference it made on your book. You want to encourage them to go to Amazon and post comments about how they liked your book or what it made a difference and that you'd recommend it. It's always smart to do that. And think about offering during this holiday time, offer a premium. For example, with the new book that we have, we made a special ribbon that goes across, and the book costs $45. I mean, if it was in a 3-ring binder, it would be $200. But it's really quite beautiful. It's 4-color throughout. It's 232 pages. It's designed it's landscape spread out as a workbook. And for everyone who was buying it when I first had them last week, I gave as just a little thank you. There is a section in there where I talk about how it's important you've got to keep space and keep people out of your territory when you are in the process of writing. So I created this little band like a crime scene, and it says, "Author at work, do not cross." And what was a hoot, I was doing another radio program yesterday, and I went to go out of my office, and I could see the rest of my staff had taken one of my tapes and put it across my office doors so everyone knew, do not go in Judith's space. So that was kind of fun. So those kind of things. But number one, you're in sales. You want to be out there, and you let people know you have a fabulous product that would be perfect for the gifts. Go to crafts fair. They're all over the place right now. Have it available, but make sure that you need to tell people in 10 seconds what's the benefit of the book so they can take it away. That is an important thing to do. Reach out on internets for people who are doing reviews. Get involved with Goodreads and get information up with there. Create some tools like bookmarks that you can put information on. You can actually sell them and come away with more things that would add to your financial bottom line, and also give them information that they can refer back to quite easy. And then just, as I say, there's just a variety of things you do. Be open to it, but just number one, you're in sales. Your book is your product. You're part of the product. You reach out. You've got an answer, a solution. You can relieve the pain. You can entertain them. I'm Judith Briles. Until next time, it's your guide to book publishing.
Thank you for being a part of Your Guide to Book Publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr.